Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Hydo. Happy Monday. If you were on just a second ago, I don't know what happened, but I got disconnected, so I'll just start over. I'm really happy that you're here, wondering if you need some motivation today. Sometimes Monday kind of does that to a person. I had created something all about goal setting for you last week, but over the weekend I was reading this book called The Last Lecture. And the book was written by a gentleman who was a university professor, and he was asked to give his last lecture. And, they do this across the United States where different universities will ask their professors to come in and to lecture about their words of wisdom, things that they've seen in life, things that they would do differently. And this particular gentleman, for him, it really was going to be his last lecture. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer after he'd been asked to do the last lecture, and he only had a few months to live. And so for him, the last lecture ended up taking on a whole new meaning. And he had 3 kids at home under the age of 5. And he knew that there was no way that he would ever be able to teach them the things that he wanted to, since he only had a few months to live. And so he used his last lecture as a way to kind of put himself in a capsule so that they could see the things that that he would want to teach them. And for him, what ended up happening was he talked a lot about legacy. And so for all of you today, instead of us talking about goals and different ways to set your goals, I want you to think about your legacy. If you were to give your last lecture, what would you want people to remember you for? What are the words of wisdom that you would want to impart on the world? What's your gifting? And when that hit me, I help my clients every day come up with how to live a bigger life, how to hit their goals, how to find their purpose. And for me, what was really interesting, is it was like, okay, for me, what is my last lecture? What's the thing that I want to be remembered for? So I wrote some things down. Not that you're going to be able to read them. I probably can't read them either. But one of the things that we're going to talk about today is something that I wrote down on that list. And it's all about it's never too late. If I can impart that on the world, that message that it's never too late, I would love to be remembered for that. And here's what I mean by it's never too late. So many of us have a dream and we think our dreams have a shelf life, that we're never going to get to have that thing. And the truth is that's not always true. What happens for a lot of us is we give up. We give up, we get too scared, we think that we can't do it, when what we really need to do is take a step towards it. Maybe it's a relationship that you have where you have to have a really hard conversation, but you think it's too late. And I'll just share a story. My dad and I growing up, he was not always available. And he had a drinking problem, and he's okay with me talking about it. He's been sober nearly 20 years now. And when he first got sober, I was already in my 20s. And I can remember when he would try to parent me. And I would feel like, don't tell me anything. You missed that. You don't get to start telling me how to act and behave. I'm already 25 years old. And you know what? I was wrong. It's never too late. And today, we have this great relationship because I gave it the space and everything that it needed, and I put myself into it and gave myself a platform to be able to talk to him, even though maybe I didn't really want to. And even though I, in the beginning, didn't really value all of the things he said. And he's become one of my biggest supporters. He probably always was. I know he always was. And I go to him for advice. My kids have a great relationship with him. And if I would have just written it off like, that's never going to happen for us, that ship has passed, I would have shortchanged wonderful relationships, not just for myself, but for my husband that he has with him, for my kids that they have with him, for the cousins. So it's never too late. Another thing is I'm working on a book. My secret series that a lot of you are joining me for on Thursdays is all about my book. Those secrets that we keep inside that make us feel ashamed. If I would have just given up on that and thought, it's too hard, it's too much, I can't do it, I'm not going to be able to get to the finish line, I'd miss out. And so would people on my message. So it's never too late. My husband and I with finances, we had to really figure out how to talk about finances in a different way and how to do our finances in a different way. We've been married almost 20 years. If I would have decided that it was never too late, if I would have decided that it was too late, that, we've been doing it the way we do it and we can't do it any different, I would have shortchanged just for some really good miracles and growth that we've had in our relationship. So I want you to think today about what are the areas in your life where you have felt like it's too late? You're not going to get it. It's never going to happen. I want you to write those down. And this week, I want you to write for your intention, it's never too late. And I want you to think about what that really is. It's never too late to what? And share it with me. Put it here in the comments. And I see Amy and I see Sean. Thanks for being here today, you guys. Both of these people have done some great things where it's never too late as well. And here's something else that I want you to think about as well. If you were writing your own last lecture, what do you want people to remember you for? What are those things that you'd like to impart on the world? Write those down. And then next week, what we can do is we can work on the goals that would have to be set around them in order for you to get it and to do it. It's almost like a backwards goal map. So this week for your motivation, just remember, it's never too late. The thing you're going through right now, it'll pass. There's good around the corner. If you really want something, you can have it. We just have to work on it. And think about that legacy. We all matter. All of us matter. Catherine, thank you. Good morning. I'm so happy that you're here. And if anyone can, even want to write in the comments of things that it's never too late for you, I'd love that. Catherine has a great story too of some things that she did to really overcome some of her own things that she was working through. And we all have those stories. So what's your legacy, you guys? What's the thing that it's never too late about? What do you want to pass on? Share it here. Share it with all of us. Think about it. And I'll see you next Monday at 10:15. And hopefully you can join me Thursday as well at 3:15 as we talk about secrets. And I encourage you all to really think about this so that we can shine on purpose. Thanks so much.